Hi everyone, hope you're well. I particularly hope that you're knowing something of God speaking to you at this time and taking you deeper into a relationship with Him. No breakfast by today because I wanted to update you on what's been happening. I wanted to give you some information on what will be happening, and I also want to give you a word which I hope will encourage you at this time to keep going. You know, with regard to the community, we were hoping to do shopping for them. We thought we'd be inundated with people asking us to shop for them, but that hasn't been the case. And so what we're looking to do is maybe focus on areas where perhaps there's a greater need at this time. And one of those areas we believe is in the area of loneliness. And so what we've done, we've got in touch with Age Cymru, Age Concern, and also some care agencies and the street champions in Baglan, offering to provide a regular friendly phone call to people who would possibly appreciate that at this time. We've also got in touch with Nikki in the chip shop that's opposite the church here, and we've asked her if she can produce some extra Sunday lunches for people. So we're going to offer to pay for 100 Sunday lunches for the community. We'll get that information out via the street champions very shortly. We just thought that would be a really lovely offer of love and concern for people who perhaps are struggling to cook at this particular time and would just appreciate a day off and a meal delivered to their doorstep. We're also hopeful in the next few weeks to deliver an online Alpha course. Now, with regard to what's happening in church, as leaders, we meet twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays, and we meet to discuss the various things that need to be done and decided and so on, but particularly to discuss the pastoral concerns and needs of the church. I've got to tell you guys, the leaders are doing a fantastic job. They're regularly ringing several people every day, and particularly those who perhaps have greater need at this time, just to make sure they're okay and to encourage them and make sure they're catered for in whatever way they can be. Honestly, the work that's going on behind the scenes, not just of the leaders, but of several people in the church is absolutely fantastic. It's so encouraging, guys. And there are breakfast bites that go out every day. There's a devotional that Chris is putting out every day. Chloe's putting regularly a worship with me out every day. Then there's the Sunday services. The amount of work that goes into putting the Sunday services together is incredible. It's so much more difficult to try and video it and get that right to put it out for a Sunday. So what Chris is doing and Chloe's doing and Hannah is doing and then Rob behind the scenes and putting it all together and everybody else's contribution is absolutely fantastic. You know, we would normally at Easter have also run a kids' festival, but we weren't able to do that. But we've kept a list of all the children's details and their families. So what Natalie has done, the church has bought books for every child that would normally come to a kids' festival. And Natalie had them all posted out to all those children, the majority of which are not church kids. Hannah Roach is regularly putting out youth talks for the youth every week and games. The kids are involved in a week-long game at this moment. My daughter even got up at 9 o'clock this morning to take part in this game. That's unheard of. And what Hannah has also done, and this is not part of her job remit, she's taken on the kids' talks and the kids' activities. And you've seen the videos that she's producing for Sunday. Honestly, the hours that takes, she's working tirelessly at the moment. So many people are working tirelessly at the moment because they care. They care about the church. And they also care about people, the lost, being saved, which is absolutely fantastic. What God has been doing so far has been wonderful. You maybe have heard some stories. We're starting to hear stories of God working. You know that on Good Friday, one of the youth in church professed faith. One of the members of church has a relative that lives away and is seriously ill with COVID at the moment, but it seems that person has come through for the Lord. An old friend of mine who's been away from the Lord for a number of years now, through a series of events and through watching the service on Sunday, has come back to the Lord and got in touch with me, and we had a great conversation on Monday night then. So God is working. Now I want to give you a short word which I hope will encourage you at this time to keep going. You know, sometimes it can feel like we've had enough. We don't want to keep going. We don't feel we've got the strength to keep going. Do you remember the phrase that we used at the start of all this social distancing? I think we're coming up to 6 weeks now without having a Sunday service gathered together. The phrase was, he's got this. He's got us. Now that doesn't change. It never changes. Now I want to give you some scriptures. This is Isaiah 40. And I want you to listen to these scriptures, and I want you to hold on to these scriptures by faith, believing that they're true, and believing that by coming to the Lord with these scriptures and crying out to him for the strength that he promises, he will give you the strength that you need. He gives strength to the weary, Isaiah 40 says, and increases the power of the weak. That's what God does. Even young people grow tired and weary. They do. And young men stumble and fall. Everybody does. But this is the incredible promise, for those who are saved, for those who hope in the Lord or wait on the Lord, come to the Lord, will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. That's the promise in God's word for you to come to him. When you feel at the end of your tether, when you feel like you can't go on, to come to God and in faith, cry out to him, say, Lord, will you give me that strength? Believing that he can, because it's part of his promise in his word to you. Do you know, when I became a Christian, I went to see Peter Jeffrey, who was my pastor, and this next verse is the first verse that anybody ever gave to me, and this is the verse that he gave to me. It's 1 Corinthians 10:13. No temptation has overcome you or overtaken you except what is common to mankind. In other words, we sometimes think that we go through something and nobody else goes through it. But we need to be encouraged that there have been countless people before us, Christians, who have been tempted or struggled in the same way as we have, and they, with the help of God and the grace of God, have come through it. And listen to what it continues to say. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. It won't be beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. Hebrews 12, verse 2 says this, fix your eyes on Jesus. Jesus, the author and the finisher of your faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and now is sat down at the right hand of the Father on high. We need to fix our eyes on Jesus. What he did is he had a focus as well of the joy set before him. And that joy set before him was one day sitting at the right hand of the Father, having accomplished salvation for this world. So he was able to endure, despising the shame. We need to have that long-term vision. What is all this about? Do you know what God is doing right now in your life? God is working in your life. God works all things together for your good. And so right now, whatever you are going through, God is working to change you. And so I want you to focus on that, see that, and make that your joy. God is working in you, and he's going to change you, even though it may be through the fire. It seems like he's refining your faith. And another focus is reaching the lost. This is, as I've said before, an incredible opportunity to reach the lost. Pray. See that as your joy, to be praying for God to be speaking to people at this time. So fix your eyes on Jesus. Remember Peter walking on the water, and when he took his eyes off Jesus, he began to sink. Keep your eyes fixed on Jesus. Keep going, guys. Keep going to God for the strength that you need, and you will find in him somebody who is faithful, will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear, will always provide a way out, and always give you the strength that you need. So remember and continue to remember, he's got this. He's got us.